Today I'm here with my good friend Varghese.
Okay.
And we're going to talk with you guys about the Worldwide Developers Conference in 2014 in June.
So there are rumors going around that they're going to release the iPhone 6. Some design specifications for it would be that they're planning on a larger size, 4.7 inches, and that's probably the most realistic it'll get. But there are also rumors flowing around that it's bound to be 5.5 to compete with the Samsungs. And it's going to be built entirely out of aluminum. And the front is going to be covered in sapphire glass. It's going to be the thinnest iPhone yet at 6 millimeters. It's going to be thinner. It's got the A8 processor for specs, screen resolution. It's gone to 2272 by 1280, and they're planning to keep the storage size the same at 64 gigs, but the price, it'll also go up. They're planning that it'll go up about 100, and it's gonna be a little bit different because some stuff they'll add to it would be they have a better camera that picks up better in low light situations, and then they're gonna change the power button to the side, and that was seen by some Chinese manufactured cases for the iPhone 6, and it was put on the side. And release date rumor, they're planning on somewhere between May, June, or July, and it might not even be called the iPhone 6, it might just be called iPhone Air. So,
Alright,
yeah.
I'm going to kind of butt in here and release some of my opinions. I don't think that the iPhone is going to come out anywhere close to that. I honestly think it's going to be around after September or so. Another thing is, to put this in perspective, the case is about as thick as the iPod Touch 5th generation. And I'm pretty sure they will offer the 16 gigabyte version, the 32 gigabyte version, and the 64 gigabyte version.
They did say that due to the iPad making the 128 gigabyte version, it could be a possibility that they could do it with the iPhone 6. So
that would be good.
And I would agree with a later release date because it is a bigger product. So.
Yes. Another thing I have to add to this again, the accusation of buying Beats by Dr. Dre from Dr. Dre himself. That would open the door for a lot of future device features, such as, obviously, if Beats does take over, if Apple does take over Beats, I would not be surprised if they cut ties with the HTC market and ship Beats audio into their iPhones. And now that would give them a very competitive edge against HTC and ultimately destroy them, in my opinion. So I'm just going to pose a question to Varghese here. So how would you feel about if the next OS X, which is the Mac operating system that will come out in our June Worldwide Developers Conference, how would you feel if this new OS X would be kind of like iOS 7? Only in a desktop form factor?
I don't know, I felt like iOS 7 was a lot cleaner in its appearance, and I did have a lot of ease of using it. It was really easy to just swipe around and get to where you needed to be, but I think OS X Maverick, it's already at the top of its evolution. There's still some factors that can, there's always room for improvement, but I think appearance-wise, maybe that would be a good idea, but how the system functions, I think it should just be left alone.
Yes, that is rumored to come out in this next meeting. We don't know for sure, but OS X Mavericks will, I keep saying that, sorry. The operating system, OS X, will be updated in this conference. Another thing is we will see an iOS 8 or improvements to iOS 7, but I'm pretty confident that it will be an iOS 8, and that's going to really be geared towards health factors, health
I'm interested to see how they would do that.
Something else that we might expect from our Worldwide Developers Conference is the fabled iWatch. And this would be really just a fancy wristwatch that would be able to communicate with our iPhones and stuff, and be able to check stuff and all that.
Yeah, I think this is the next big thing, this era of smartwatches, because we had the cell phones, now we have the smartphones, TVs, smart TVs.
Yes.
This is like the next thing for watches, I guess.
Another thing is, I think this will bring a lot of safety hazards, because we could potentially be walking around with really teenagers. I shouldn't have put it this way, because we walk around with Rolexes already that are worth
Yeah.
$10,000, but
Oh, yeah.
something that the general public would wear that would be worth upwards of $249 to $349. That would be really dangerous for our
Youth and just anyone out in like general public.
yeah.
Yes. What would they incorporate,
I think they're gonna leave the door open for another, let's say, to compete with the Galaxy S5, a heart rate monitor built into with our home button with the Touch ID.
Yeah, that would be some
Yeah,
clever
that
stuff.
would be really good. Another thing that may be rumored to come out is the iPad. They might, maybe, very, very small chance, but an iPad Air improvement and an iPad Mini improvement. But more things that are actually in reality is an update to the Apple TV that we know today. They're going to either have to decide if they're going to keep it the way it is, or if they're going to pursue partnership with a cable provider. How do you feel about that, an Apple TV with a cable provider?
And I feel like Apple's been independent in most of its products so far. They've done a pretty good job.
Independent endeavors.
Yeah, but it might benefit them because it might just get them like that availability to other people that just want to you can watch Apple TV. Okay, let's streamline that, so if you wanted, you can also watch cable at the same.
Yes, that would target more people in our market here. Another thing that may be in the pipelines is a Retina display a Retina display MacBook Air. That how would you feel about that?
I mean, Retina display. I mean, it's really. I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy going around. Does it work? Does it not work? But I think overall, it really comes down to who you are. If you want, but I think they should add it because you got the MacBooks with the Retina display or without it.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a lineup with Retina display or without. So why not just give that option to people? I think that's very appealing to consumers.
And that would also lower the price of the current MacBook Air. Personally, for me, I really don't care for a Retina display in a computer. The display that I have on my Mac right now is really sharp. I think that's something that Apple is using to make a lot of extra money.
Yeah, I would feel like that too.
Yes. If you don't know what Retina display is, and if you don't know what we're talking about, you can just go down. I'll leave a link in my description to my previous video. I was going over a lot of stuff about Mac and stuff. So another thing that we might see in this developers conference is an update to the MacBook Pro, the Retina MacBook Pro.
Yeah, MacBook Pro, that's just a beast.
Yeah.
I felt like that was a beast, but I mean, that once again, I think is just a preference, because I mean, if you have that much money to go out and buy one of these things, and if you're that kind of person, then I don't think it really makes a difference for you to chip in a couple extra bucks and just to get a clearer display, if that's what you're into,
Yeah. And another thing that I'm just gonna open the door for a conversation here is, do you think Apple will discontinue our iPod Classic, our original, our white iPod, our iPod that introduced us to portable music players that we know today? Do you think they'll discontinue this great machine?
Well, I mean, I don't think they would. I don't see why. I mean, like, it's gone out pretty well, to be honest. I mean, it's really nice. Like, I was just using this before the video. I mean, even this today is just like, it's pretty flawless already in its
Yes.
design. And it's just gotten better in my opinion, but I don't see why they would discontinue this.
Yes.
This is like one of those things that you need.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is something that this is Apple's bread and butter here, their iPod Classic.
Yeah.
But I do see that if they do come out with the iPhone or the iPod with 128 gigabytes, that would pretty much make our iPod Classic here that we know and love go extinct.
But that's also like understandable. Like if you've improved products to the point where one becomes irrelevant, you might just have to drop it.
Yes.
Or at least renew it. You know, figure out a way to make it popular again.
This 7th generation has been out for maybe like 4 or 5 years now. I strongly believe if they do some upgrades here, because I got this because I'm not gonna go sit there and play Flappy Bird and Angry Birds all day, and those apps really take up a lot of memory in an iPhone and iPod. So this is like strictly for movies and music and podcasts, audiobooks.
Yeah.
This has its specific features that make it what it is today.
Yeah, from that perspective, like, you know, it's like strong. I agree strongly that they should just keep it because, I mean, sometimes it's kind of like when you buy a TV, you could buy a TV or you could buy a smart TV. I mean, you'd only buy a smart TV if you're actually gonna go use YouTube or use Hulu Plus or Netflix, you know, but what if you just wanted a TV? You don't want to put in that extra, you know, $300, $400 just to get that. And that's the same thing here. If you're not gonna, you know, go play Flappy Bird, download apps or something, just get music and movies and podcasts like you said, just buy this, you know, save money like that.
Alright, thanks guys, thanks for watching, thanks for coming today, Marcus.
Thanks
All right.
for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Alrighty guys, leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, great things to do. If you like the way we do things here, this interview panel, just drop a comment down below. I plan to keep this, bring Varghese back, bring back some new people. Alright, thanks YouTube, bye.
See.
Windmill for the land, the forever hand in hand. Take it all,